Hello, fellow collectors, and welcome to another challenge video. This challenge originated with Gary's Diecast collection, and the concept of the challenge is to pick 10 cars and one car from each year in a single decade. And then he also had an alternative version where you could just choose 10 cars within a single year. But I thought it would be much more interesting to try to do the 10 cars for the decade. So I started going through my collection and thought it would be interesting to try to do it for the 50s. I do not have a huge collection of cars from the 50s, and so this was a interesting opportunity to look at what I did have and to then expand my collection a little bit in reality. As the cars from the 50s are very interesting, and it's something I'm taking more and more of an interest as I get to know them a little bit better. So let's get started. I'm going to work backwards. I'm going to start with 1959 and work to 1950. And the reason for that is that I have a challenge for you at the end related to the car for 1950. But to begin with, we have this pack of Johnny Lightnings. I actually picked this up today in a local Hobby Lobby. And so the first car we're going to look at is this 1959 Cadillac Eldorado convertible. This is from a Johnny Lightning 50s and Fins series. And these are two packs from Johnny Lightning. And so this one, there's also a Union 76 pack, which I have not seen yet. But let's get this out and take a look at this 1959 Cadillac. So, talk about fins. This has it. This is a very cool car. Red interior, white wall tires, and the very, for the time, modern rear end, heavily inspired by the aeronautical innovations that were taking place in the late 1950s. So, very cool. That's 1959. 1958 was actually a very challenging year. I had nothing in my collection from 1958 that I could find. And I was in Hobby Lobby today, and fortunately I found this 1958 Chevrolet Apache stepside pickup. And fortunately it was a truck that I was interested in, and in a style that I did not mind at all adding to my collection. So this is from the latest Drivers series, Auto Drivers series. So let's get this out. And get rid of this base. I have two screws on an M2. I don't buy a whole lot of M2s. I've definitely had a fair number of quality control issues with them, as anybody who buys M2s has, and it's always made me a little bit reluctant to embrace the brand. But as my interest in cars has expanded, and especially as I've looked at more and more older vehicles, M2 offers a lot of interesting vehicles in that, in the 50s and 60s era that other brands really don't. So this is a very nice pickup truck. Painted details on the front and the rear. I don't see any obvious quality issues with this. Looks like the wheels are maybe a little wobbly, but that's pretty common. Oh yeah, definitely not a smooth roller, but it doesn't matter. So that's 1958. 1957, I opened this one in my last haul video. This is a Studebaker, 1957 Studebaker, and I'm going to completely space on what the model of this car was. And the base is impossible to read. Actually, I don't think Johnny Lightning even puts the names on the base. So I apologize for failing to remember the specific model of this car. But this is a nice. There were two of these, issued in the most recent Johnny Lightning release that I had picked up last week. So this is 1957. Then for 1956, another recent pickup, which is also a pickup, Ford F100. This one is from Greenlight, part of the Norman Rockwell Series 3. And I found this in a Target last week sometime. And the Norman Rockwell series was not a series that I ever thought I would be interested in. But again, as my interest in these older vehicles has started to develop, it has become a much more interesting series than I would have ever expected it to be. And this pickup truck really captured my attention because I just thought it was really cool looking. It's kind of a rusty, at least an attempt at looking kind of rusty, painted details. Looks like that bumper's a little crooked, which is a little bit unfortunate. It's got the big, thick tires that Greenlights have a lot of the time, but that's fine. Yeah, so you get some rust spots and stuff around here. So very cool. So this is 1956. And this has Norman's Bait Shop as the livery. So 56. For 1955, another Greenlight, this one in the Estate Wagon Series 6, and another pickup from today, this 1955 Chevrolet 210 Townsman, which at first I thought this was just another version of the Nomad, but it turns out, again, revealing how little I know about these cars from the 50s, this is a very different vehicle than the Nomad is, but of a similar design. So if we compare it to the Nomad, you can see the windows are completely different. Very similar in character, but the front end is fairly different, although this has painted headlights. This one looks much better. Both of these are Greenlights, so it's unfortunate that they didn't carry over the lensed headlights to this one. Smooth trunk lid instead of this ridge thing, and a smooth roof instead of the ridged roof. But this is very cool. Similar hood ornaments as well. Oh, it's a 4-door. Okay, I get it. I see. So the Nomad is a 2-door. This is the 4-door version. I see. So we're learning here. Isn't that exciting? All right. So that was 1955. And for 1954, we have one of my favorite cars of this era, the 1954 Studebaker Commander. This is from the Flame series. This is a Greenlight release as well. Nice white wall tires. They put out a whole bunch of these. If you have any interest in this car at all, I did a video covering all of these releases and talked quite a bit about the Carrera de Panamericana where these cars raced and still race to this day. It's a very fascinating thing to me. But this was 1954. In 1953, whoops, wait a minute, sorry, I'm missing 53. Nope, I am not missing 53. For 1953, from the Johnny Lightning pack that we started with, there was also the 1953 Buick Super Convertible, which this looks really cool. So does this have it comes with an opening hood. That's exciting. Very cool. Red interior, red and black interior, so actually a two-tone interior from Johnny Lightning. And red on the sun visors. Some nice black wash on the grille. Got a license plate. Got to try to see what the license plate says as always. Just says Super Super California, 1953 registration. All right, very cool. So that was 1953. Then 1952 is from Hot Wheels. This 1952 Chevy pickup truck, Mighty Max's Garage, and another kind of rusty livery. This is a mainline Hot Wheels, obviously, but it's a very cool release. Looks good with the steely wheels. So 1952. Then for 1951 from Matchbox, we have the Hudson Hornet and a police livery. Matchbox County Police. So another Matchbox mainline. And so then that brings us to 1950. And for 1950, I actually could not find a car. The closest that I can come up with is this 1949 Merc. And this is pretty much the same as the or very, very similar at least to the 1950 model. I'm sure that somebody who's an expert in these cars can give me a long list of what the differences between the 49 and the 50 version were. But to me, they look pretty much the same. But this is sold as a 1949. So my challenge for you is, what die-cast cars in 1/64th scale have been put out for the model year 1950 that are, relatively easy to find? I didn't have anything in my collection, and I did some superficial searching to try to see what may be available. It's a hard thing to search for because you tend to get results for the entire 1950s, of which there are many cars. But for the 1950 model year specifically, I don't know. So this is the closest I could get. It's a little bit of cheating, but still, I don't think it's that far off. And anyway, let me know what you think. If you know, please leave a comment. Otherwise, leave a thumbs up if you enjoyed this video, and subscribe and all those good things. And this is the end. So thank you for watching.